What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about a new rumor that PS3 emulation is coming to PS5. Now, I guess I say new, but I do want to have a little asterisk there. This is like multiple times we've heard about this thing. The reason why I wanted to talk about this is, well, it's just another time. I believe it actually has come from a different person. I don't think Special Nick has ever talked about this before, but we have heard this multiple times. I feel like the rumors for PS3 emulation go back for years, and it's something I petitioned for maybe like every other day on the channel, right? So I felt like it was a good topic to cover. So, I mean, pretty much what it boils down to, they did the Xbox era podcast, there was the rumor mill section, and the one rumor that they talked about that Special Nick had was that select PS3 games were going to be brought over through emulation on PS5, and the source gave zero details, after that. He tried to pry a little bit more than that, nothing came from it, and that's pretty much all you got. So we've heard this before, and I think the last time we heard this rumor is that basically they're working on literally getting the emulator, running on a PS5. And I will say, and we've maybe said this before because we've talked about it before, but, the PS3 architecture, right, is so wildly messed up. And I say that with the PS3 being my favorite console ever created. It's where I grew up, really, or I guess established myself as a gamer, got into all the franchises, both first party and then also third party, all came through the PS3. It just means so much to me. But you can look back at that thing and say, Sony messed up in a couple different ways. Some of the things took forever to actually end up fixing itself down the line, right? Even just changing your profile name, right, was so ingrained in the PS3 architecture that it took forever to do it. It was tied with the trophy list, so if you wanted to change your name, you'd mess up the trophy ecosystem. The whole thing was just a cluster F, right? And, the games themselves, the code that they were built on, very difficult basically to replicate going forward. So I get it to an extent. I get that it's probably the hardest, maybe of the systems or the generations to get the thing running. But, the reason why this is so impactful to me and something that I petition for all the time, well, I said so many of the franchises I really grew up with, I got through the PS3, and there's just so many of them stuck on it. And one game that was actually commented to me even over on Twitter, GTA 4. Now, I don't think GTA 4 would be one of the games brought over because I imagine Rockstar is going to do some sort of remaster after GTA 6, but there's so many, and you can go to Xbox as well, Xbox 360, PS3, those era, the Transformers games, all that stuff, so many games that are trapped, on that console generation. So the quicker that they can get it up, the better. But again, I get excited. It's exciting to see the rumor again, but you do have to remind yourself, or at least I'm here to remind you, if you're saying, oh my God, new news, they're working on the PS3 thing. We've heard this for a couple of years. It's not even like 1 year. We've heard it for a while. I do think it happens. I couldn't imagine they wait till the PS6, right? Because you could argue, well, you're running out of years for the PS5 for this thing to even work. I imagine they're shooting for the PS5, especially with what they're doing with PS2, right? Like, it seems like this past month, or, the month that we're in, actually in June, they're really pushing it to the next level with Tomb Raider and Sly and Clone Wars and all that stuff. Seems like there's going to be a lot more PS2 games coming very, very soon. So they got that working. They got that, up to speed. Now it's time for the, generation that they have just really failed. Maybe like PSP would be another one they've kind of failed at, right? I guess some Vita games. They failed at a couple of them. I mean, it's one thing I really hold these companies' feet to the fire, when it comes to the preservation stuff. So hopefully we get it. And yet again, the rumor is select PS3, right? So if you're thinking they're going to open the floodgates and you're just going to get like, 500-600 PS3 games right through emulation, highly doubt that's going to happen. It's going to be, I think, select. But, we always talk about, or at least I talk about, the PlayStation All-Stars, the Resistance franchise, the Infamous franchise, Sly, Thieves in Time, and maybe even the Sly Cooper collection. There's many more, but those are the ones that come to my mind, right away that I'm always talking about. Those, I would imagine, should be at the top of the list, when you're thinking about if you are selective and you're not choosing all of them, you have to pick case by case. I think it would be looking pretty good, actually, to get some of those games that I've been petitioning for a long time. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.